Please join me in Gasho. Namandavs, Namandavs. Naman. Namandavs, Namandavs.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us at the April Shotsuki. I would like to start with Mokuso, which is quiet sitting meditation, followed by the Shomyo, which is the recitation of Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you.
Namandavs, 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 Namandavs.
Now we will have the Vandana and the Tisarana on page 325. Would everyone who can please stand? Thank you.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. Dhamman saranam gacchami. I go to the Dharma for guidance. Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namandavs, Namandavs.
Please turn to page 306 for the Gatha Shinshu Shuka. Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. We will now be chanting Sambujo on page 89, followed by Amida Kyo, which is on page 90. During this time, I will be calling the names of the deceased for April, and if you could come up and do Oshoko for your family when the name is called. If the names of your families are called twice, then please just come up and do Gasho. Thank you.
Naman ups, naman ups, naman ups, naman ups, naman ups. 本日ここにうやうやしく産物牽制の奨学を仰ぎ、慎みてスティーセン仏教会2024年4月小月法要を言収す。如来へ向の真実心をもって法恩の誠をいたし、仏徳を賛嘆したて祭る。願わくは如来の大慈大悲心をもって無料の功徳、一切衆生の上に栄光して回らんことを、ナモキエ仏、ナモキエ法、ナモキエ僧。This morning, we have gathered here in the quietude of Mida's temple to commemorate the April 2024 Shotsuki monthly memorial service, in which we remember loved ones who have passed on during this month of April. We faithfully recite the Nembutsu and humbly join our hands in Gassho. May the fragrance of incense teach us the purity of our intentions. May the beauty of the flowers offered remind us of the glory of the Dharma. And may the lights that burn brightly upon the altar lead our thoughts to Amida's eternal light of wisdom and boundless compassion that dispels the darkness of our ignorance. Busetn Amina Kyo Myoze Gamo Jiji Monadai Shai Gogugi Jugi Godogu Yodai Vikushu Seni Yagagojuningu Kaize Dayaraga Shujoji Jigi Joro Jariyot Magamogene Magagasho Magagazene Magagujira Rihada Shuri Anaga Nana Rangona Kyobo Anai Binzuru Harada Karudai Magagoina Agura Anuruda Yose Dojo Dai Deji Byojo Bosat Magazat Monju Shiri Oji Aina Bosat Genaganai Bosat Jojo Jimbosan Yo Zedo Jodai Bosan Byushakdai Gaino Muryo Shoten Dai Shugu Niji Busago Joro Shari Ozu Zezai Oga Juman Noga Busudo Usegai Myo Wasu Gogura Goda Busugo Amida Kongen Zai Zebo Shari Ozu Ido Gago Myoi Gogura 거그라 거그도 이지저란주 이지저라모 이지저거증아이세시오 주소이녀세고이고 묘와드 거그라그 샤리여드 거그라 거그도 의심보지 악의도 그스이즈망어주 지다이전이 거샤부지 지행가이도 공하늘이 아리거저 조으로 그야그이 공하늘이 아리자고 작으시메노 이건지지지주랭에 다여샤리 소식이 저거 시기 여거 작으시기 장어 작으시기 명어 미명어게서 자리여 거그라 거그도 저주녀세 그도 그저거 자리 무슨 거그도 조사댕아 오거이지 주야로 그지니 만나라게 고고그스저 조이 조당의행옥 조시묘게 그여다워 주만너그버서 서그이지기지겐동 거그먼지기 교교 자리여서 거그라 거그도 조주녀세 그도 그저거 무시 자리여서 이거 그저거 주죽이며 사시기 시죠 약고 그저그 어무샤리 가려빙하 금여시죠 세셔시죠 주야로 그지 서이와게 온거엔조 고공어리게 지지보다이버 하셔도부 요새도 거도시죠 먼세 언닝하이스 네모네서 자리여서 녀모스 이시죠 지스세사요쇼쇼 조이샤가 이부스 거그도 무사마르슈 자리여서 거부스 거그도 조무삼명 조유이명가 교부진 세셔시저 가이세 아미다부 요그려 세는 행계조사 자리여서 이보서 거그도 미어서이도 저거주기 하라모 스이미묘와 이녀야 그센주가 너지그사 먼세 혼자 가이지낸 요네모스 네모네소 shi shi shari yoda gabuz gogdo joju nyose kudo gu shogo
Akizuki, Kinyuyo, Ataki, Kazuko, Atode, Yasutaro, Akikawa, Ayukawa, Margaret, Etori, Chiyo, Fukakusa, Akio, Hama, Kenzo, Hamada, Shioko, Hamade, Tokuno, Hamanishi, Shinjiro, Hamano, Kiyoshi, Hashimoto, Shizue, Haya, Toshimatsu, Hikida, Takeo, Hikida, Tatsuo, Ikari, Senichi Roy, Ikari, Suru, Reverend Ikuta, Kyojo, Ito, Tamotsu, Iwata, Genevieve, Kakino, Shioko, Karia, Ayako, Karia, Shioko, Karia, Isamu, Karia, Sarasuke, Karia, Yonekazu. Kawasaki, Takeo, Kimura, Yoshio, Kishiuchi, Michio, Kishiuchi, Yoshiko, Kitade, Sute, Kitagawa, Michiko, Kondo, Fujikazu, Koyanagi, Mutsuo, Maeda, Toshimatsu, Matsumura, Matsuo, Kametaro, Miyazaki, Suzy Shizuko, Mori, Kahoru, Morishita, Masaharu, Morishita, Michio, Morizawa, Choichiro, Morao Mon, Nakamura Miyuki, Nakanishi Harue, Nakatani Sam, Nakatsu Sunenobu, Narukami Teruo, Nishi Misako, Nishi Nancy, Nishi Shigeo, Nogami Mieko, Ohara Masao, Koikawa Hisashi, Okano Tokiko, Ura Chie, Oye Yasuo, Sakai Ei, Sakai Terry Teruo, Sakamoto Hirotaka, Samishima Margaret, Samishima Mary Minori, Shoji Koito, Shoji Matsue, Suzuki Richard, Tanaka Eddie, Tani Seikichi, Tezuka Michihiko, Tsukijima Shigeko, Urata Minoru, Ueyama Tokue, Yamada Shizuyo, Yamaguchi Jinshiro, Yamaguchi Nobue, Yamashita, Harry Yamashita, Heijiro,
全女に門税勝負小絶妙遊行妙者税小善男子全女に会祭勝負具小五年会徳大天王阿のくだら三脈三宝
Hiyazaki, Sanae, Yokota, Ayako, Yokota, Shige, Yoshida, Mitsu, Yoshida, Kinoe.
If you wish to burn incense for any family member who passed away in the month of April that was not a member or a temple, please come up and do a shoko. Thank you.
Namanobs, 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 namanobs.
We will now receive the Dharma talk from Reverend Grant. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. 皆さんおはようございます。Welcome to our April 2024 Shotsuki monthly memorial service. It's nice to see all of you here in the Hondo joining us for this service, as well as those who are joining by Zoom. I forgot to set up my other laptop here, so I can't really see the expressions of the people on Zoom today, but welcome to them. Let me just ask. Can you hear me okay, Michael?
Yes, Sensei.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to make sure that they're hearing this as well. So we are gathered here for this Shotsuki monthly memorial service, and I'm going to begin my talk by saying a few words in Japanese. Our major services we still conduct jointly, English and Japanese. So if you are not conversant in Japanese, you could look out at the beautiful spring day, or just watch my expressions as I talk. 本日はこの4月の2024年4月の正月法要へ皆さん本当にようこそお参りしていただきました。まず最初にご三代をですね、お釈迦様の言葉から簡単ですが、ご三代いただいてそれからお話ししたいと思います。すべてのものは縁によって消滅する。すべてのものは縁によって消滅する。これはですね、無常ということを表しています。ちょうどこの時期はですね、もう私たち桜の今、桜の時期なんですが、ここお寺の前の桜はだいぶもう散り始めましたが、うちの庭ではまた違う種類の桜だとも今から咲き出すわけですね。日本も今ちょうど今週末が一番花見の見どころだと思う。ちょっと日本の方が私たちより遅れてるんですね、今年は。うちの家内も先週まで日本にちょっと里帰りしてたけど、まだ向こうでは全然桜が咲いてなくて、こっち帰ってきてびっくりしてたんですね。こっちは満開だった。で、この桜というと、ちょうど私が日本で留学してた頃、もう30年以上前の話なんですが、まだその日本は、その当時はバブルの時代だったんですね。で、桜の花見は特に会社関係では宴会ということですごい派手に皆さん、花見っていうよりも飲み会だったと思うんですね。で、この時期になるとその会社のですね、1年目の社員たちが朝早くからですね、場所取りのために、公園行ってですね、ビニールをずっと貼って、何時間もそこで待つわけなんですね。その宴会の時間まで。そしてから、みんなが集まって、で、学生みたいな私もそんな、時間があったりするとそうやって宴会してたわけなんですけど、もう本当に、どんちゃん騒ぎっていうか、桜見えるどころかみんな酔っ払ったりしてた覚えがあります。今になってはなんと、虚しいっていうか恥ずかしいなと思うこともあります。今だったら静かにその桜を見つめるのが方がよっぽどいいなと思うこともあります。でもこの桜っていうのは日本ではなぜそんなに、美しいというか大事にされているかっていうと、やはりこれも無常なんですね。この一瞬にこのきれいな桜が咲いてまた次の瞬間に去っていく、この一瞬のこの今、禅の言葉、 茶道、お茶の言葉では、一期一会なんですね。この二度とない一瞬を喜ぶべきだと。ね、で、お釈迦さんもですね、この一瞬、今、二度とない今を喜ぶためには、やはり、真実の喜びというものを分からなければならないということですね。で、これがお釈迦さんが目覚めたのが、これが仏法であると。2500年前のお釈迦さんが、自分の人生にはいろんなことがあって、非常に苦しいこともあり、その中でですね、自分を安定する人生を送るためにはやはり真実というものが必要。そしてまたですね、ここスティーブストンに戻ってきますと、1928年、それ以前なんですが、ここに、移民された多くの日系人たちがやっぱり自分の毎日の忙しい生活の中で安定感、そして安心感を得られる場所として皆さんがお寺を、最初はスティーブストンの村の中心ですけど、お寺を建てたわけなんですね。もちろんそれはその場所には、仏法を聞く場所でもありながらも社交の場でもあったわけなんですね。で、そうやって皆さんがこうやって集まることによって、法を聞く喜びと同時に皆さんと一緒にまた会うことの喜びっていうことは非常に大事だったと思い、本日はこの、亡くなられた多くの方ですねをご縁にまた私たちもお参りさせていただいているわけなので、先ほど言ったように全てのものは縁によって消滅する、全てのものは縁によって生まれてくる、そしてまたその縁がなければ去っていく。ちょうど桜のように私たちもこのお参りは二度とないお参りなので、他のお参りはありますけど全く同じお参りは二度とないので、今この瞬間皆さんとお参りできたことの喜びをですね、お念仏を通して、味わわせていただいています。最後になりますけどもう一度皆さんと一緒に合唱して日本語の、法話に変えさせていただきたいと思います。ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏。Good morning, everyone. Thank you. And if you were falling asleep, please wake up. I'm going to begin my English Dharma talk by reading a passage. And I've read this passage before, so you may have heard it before. It was written by a popular Buddhist poet by the name of Mitsuo Aida. And I've translated it into English. People are not moved nor changed by difficult reasoning or rationalization. People are moved when they are inspired. Encountering inspiration is what causes the change. Okay? People are not moved nor changed by difficult reasoning or rationalization. People are moved when they are inspired. Encountering inspiration is what causes the change. So this morning we've gathered here for this April Shotsuki monthly memorial service. It's a time when we gather to remember our loved ones who passed away during this month of April. As I was mentioning in Japanese, it's also the time of the cherry blossoms. And here in Richmond, our first wave of cherry blossoms have finished, or almost finished. The sakura trees in front of our temple, they've started to fall away. But there's, I guess, a different kind of cherry blossoms. In our backyard, they're still buds, and so they'll be coming up anyway. But anyways, in the Japanese culture, these cherry blossoms are very important, and they remind us, or they are held with high esteem because of the beauty in the moment, in the instant. There's a famous Zen and tea ceremony passage, Ichigo Ichie, is that every encounter is the only encounter. So it tells of that instant moment, the preciousness of that moment. And I think that's why in the Japanese culture, the cherry blossoms are so honored, because it shows us that in an instant you get this beautiful flower, and then in the next moment it is gone. And so being in that moment, appreciating it, is very important. Now, when we talk about the teachings, the Buddha reminded us of how every moment is very important. And when I was thinking about my Dharma talk, the Dharma message today, you know, I wanted to talk about the fact that in our lives we have many things that go on. And yesterday I was fortunate enough to be part of a workshop. It went from 10 till 3. And it was for what's called the Healing Circle. And what this Healing Circle is, this summer in August, we are going to have another Vancouver Island Obon Cemetery visitation tour. But because of the Japanese-Canadian legacy funds that are available, we actually expanded this year's tour, and we're partnering with the Victoria Nikkei Cultural Society and the Seven Potatoes Nikkei Cultural Society in Nanaimo. And the tour is not only going to be just visiting cemeteries, but it's going to be also a historical tour. If you want more information in this month's newsletter, there's a whole article or application to join. But as part of that, we're going to be doing what's called the healing circles. And what the healing circles are is when people gather and they sit and they reflect on things that have happened, and they share their feelings, basically. And so one of the things that we're looking at is what they call the intergenerational trauma. And we received a very large grant from the Japanese-Canadian Legacy Intergenerational Wellness Grant. Mouthful. But, and so we're doing these healing circles to talk about the intergenerational trauma that occurred with the internment, etc. And those who experienced World War II and on how it's affected generations afterwards as well. But one of the interesting things in this workshop that I learned is that for a long time that within the Nikkei community, and it's spearheaded by the Nikkei community in the States. They're way further along the path than we are. But one of the things that they mentioned was for a long period of time, there was they didn't have the verbiage, the language to express what was going on. And it hasn't been until quite recently that the word trauma has actually been associated with this, the Japanese-Canadian, Japanese-American experience. So as I was thinking about this, you know, I was thinking, so in my personal life over the last little while, there have been a lot of things that have been going on. And it's, sometimes I was feeling a little overwhelmed. And the sense that I was getting was, the word that I would use is anxiety, right? Anxiety. I'm sure most of you can relate to when life gets a bit overwhelming and you get the sense of anxiety that happens in your life. And as I was thinking about this, I actually reflected back to the time of the historical Buddha. Next week, actually, we're going to be celebrating our Hana Matsuri service, which is a celebration of the birth of the baby Buddha. But the historical Buddha, he was born as Siddhartha Gautama, and he was a prince of a small kingdom, Kapilavastu. And he stayed in the royal palace for 29 years as a prince, and he was supposed to be the heir to the throne of that kingdom. But at the age of 29, it said that he left the royal palace in search of the truth. And in all the Buddhist literature, they never come up with it. They say he left the royal palace because he saw the sufferings of life. But I think in thinking about his life, I'm sure that the word that comes to mind, the Buddha or Siddhartha must have had great anxiety in his life. You know, I have all this anxiety, and I'm just an average minister. So can you imagine the prince of a kingdom and all the pressures that go along with that? Not only your own personal life, but the whole kingdom. So that anxiety that he had spurred him on to search for a greater truth. And it was through his search that he encountered the Dharma and awoke to what we call enlightenment. And he realized at that point that true peace comes when we go beyond our daily anxieties and we find something that can anchor us throughout the many ups and downs of life. And as I began thinking about this, I reflected on our pioneers. We're here for the Shotsuki monthly memorial service in which we remember loved ones who passed away during this month. And I go back to thinking about our pioneers here in Steveston. In 1928, when the first temple was built, what their lives must have been like. They must have had immense pressure as well. Discrimination, prejudice, very difficult, not understanding the language spoken around you. And so for them, they needed balance in their lives to overcome their anxieties. And they built with sweat and tears, hard work. They built the first temple in 1928. And again, throughout their lives, they encountered hardships. They were, of course, incarcerated during the war, sent to internment camps or away from their homes, everything taken away. They were eventually able to come back, but they have to start from zero again. Again, great anxiety. And yet, they persevered. And they built they purchased the second temple on Chatham Street. And in 1963, this temple was built here on this location. What was it that inspired them to build this temple here? And that inspiration came from realizing the peace that they had from receiving the Dharma. This was a place they could come to throughout their life. Despite the hardships, difficulties that they might have, they can find peace here. It came in the peace of listening to the teachings, but it also came in the peace of coming together as fellow Japanese Canadians, fellow Buddhists, fellow community members. Not even Buddhists, community members coming together. And so for all these years, this has served as a place of peace. And now our loved ones guide us. They have brought us here again. And again, we get this sense of gratitude, sense of peace. And so as we find anxiety that goes in our life, knowing there is a place that we can turn to, knowing there is a truth in the Dharma, knowing there is guidance in the teachings of Buddha, knowing that I can receive it and receive peace. That in this blind, foolish self, as myself, that the Dharma continues to shed compassion and guide us. And out of gratitude to the Dharma and to our loved ones who have brought us here today, we put our hands together again in Gassho. So again, at this moment, if I can ask you, please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much.
Would everyone please rise, and we will have the Gatha Ondoksan on page 307. Thank you. Please be seated. We will now have the installation ceremony for the new Board of Directors for the Stevenson Buddhist Temple. And if I could ask the board members to come up. First is President Terakune, First Vice President Kuni Ikuta, Second Vice President Alan Kaita, Treasurer Reiner Mao, Secretary Jeannie Ryan, and the other board members, Durgesh Kasbekar, June Ikuta, Doug Anzai, Brent Tanaka, and Casey Akizuki. Thank you.
There's the other side. Yeah, there are two holders, so. Okay, if I could ask you all just sort of stand in the middle there and face the front. Sorry, let me just- You, the newly elected officers of the Stevenson Buddhist Temple Board of Directors, in accepting office, take upon yourself certain responsibilities towards your Sangha and your temple. Are you ready to sacrifice some of your personal desires for the common good? Are you determined to do your part during your term in office in spreading the ideals of Buddhism on this land to a higher plane by living the life of thankfulness and benevolence of Buddha, and also by realizing the ideal of the oneness of all life? Will you do these with all your might, without fear or favor, irrespective of class, color, and creed, and thereby help to lay the foundation stone upon which the future generations may build a universal Buddhist brotherhood through which the teaching of the Buddha shall shine forevermore. If you will take these responsibilities upon your shoulders, please repeat the following affirmation. Please repeat after me. I take office in the Steveston Buddhist Temple Board of Directors, realizing my responsibilities and determined to do all in my power to remember at all times the teaching of the Buddha. Okay, please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. So please give a round of applause to our new board of directors. And I believe, Ted, would you just say a few words? Thank you. Yeah, you can sit down. Thank you. Ted's just gonna, Jeannie, Ted's just gonna say a couple words.
Oh, sir, thank you. You want to introduce you?
It's on, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you, Reverend Grant. I'd just like to say a few words on behalf of the temple and the board of directors. I've been fortunate to be on the board as president for several years now. And for me, being on the board and representing the temple has been a great honor. But more importantly, I just wanted to mention that the board of directors are so dedicated when it comes to all the events, everything to do with the temple. The board of directors step up and are there to provide support to make sure that everything is done successfully. This year, we have one long-serving board member. Her name is Hiroko Yoshihara, and she stepped down this year. And I just wanted to thank her on behalf of the temple that we appreciate so much all that she's given to the temple, and I know that she will continue to do so. This year, we're really very fortunate because we have 3 new board members, and they will provide a lot of enthusiasm, they'll provide a lot of ideas, and inject some new thinking into the board. So we really welcome these new board members. And this temple and this temple, we're very fortunate. And I think all of us do realize that. It's been in existence right here as we see it since 1963. And some of the cherry blossoms, the sakura flowers, have been planted from that time, and we're still seeing the beauty of those cherry blossoms. So we hope that everything will continue into the future, and the forefathers, those who were part of the building of this temple, they have passed on, and the next generation is here to carry on their legacy. But as you can see, that next generation is getting on as well. And so we do encourage everyone who is younger and who have that spirit of community in Steveston, you're most welcome. So again, I welcome the new members, thank the Hiroko and others who have served so well, and thank you, Reverend Grant, thank you, Roy Akune Sensei, thank you very much.
I'd like to thank Ted, especially for the fact that I put him on the spot. I didn't tell him beforehand he was going to say a few words, so thank you very much, Ted, for that.
Next, we'll have the offertory, please.
Please join me in Gasho.
Thank you. There is tea prepared by the Fujin Kai for your refreshments. And also on the program are all the events that are coming up for the month of April, especially next week with the Hanamatsuri. And there will be a potluck dinner on the Saturday evening. So if you are able, please join us because it's very enjoyable.
Yeah, so don't forget to get your homyo and pick the right one. And also, not this coming Wednesday, the following Wednesday, we'll be showing the movie Shall We Dance here as well. So if you're interested in our movie night, please come and join us on Wednesday, the 17th, I believe it was. Okay, thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you to those who joined by Zoom.